Hi guys, Nigel Farage and others like him may be in deeper doo-doo than they had originally thought. So in what will no doubt cause some people to sweat both at GB News and those at home watching it, Barrister Fowles, who I've covered before on the channel, lent his expertise to the hosts of the show in regards to the definition of terrorism. While we generally believe acts of terrorism involve blowing up stuff or flying planes into buildings, a core pillar is the motivation behind it. And of course, it isn't limited to those carrying out the acts, but also those encouraging them. Should Nigel Farage be getting worried? Have a listen.
The legal definition is terrorism is if you commit acts of violence, acts against property, or acts that might endanger people's lives, and you do so with the intention of furthering a political cause and or causing intimidation or a change in government policy. So if you make a plan with other people and that plan involves, say, firebombing a mosque or firebombing a hotel where asylum seekers are staying, then speaking hypothetically, that seems to me that it could well fall into the definition of terrorism. But there's also the offence of encouraging terrorism. And this is where if you make public statements that glorify or encourage terrorist acts, and a reasonable person might assume that you did so with the intention of encouraging other people to partake in those acts, then that's a terrorism offence as well.
So, Sam, what's the point?
I think, and again, I'm just going to speak hypothetically because we can't prejudice any cases that might be going on in real life. But hypothetically, if someone is throwing a brick through a window, throwing a firebomb and screaming, "Let's take our country back, Paki's out," or "It's war," well, that seems to me to be someone expressing a political motivation. I think a reasonable person can say, yes, you're trying to achieve a political aim there.
So,
oh my goodness, this could be very, very worrying for Nigel Farage. Now, I think Nigel Farage is probably okay. You know, he said some statements in the past, so they probably aren't. It's not possible to link them to this. But people around him, like Lee Anderson, Ben Habib, and of course, people not directly related to Reform UK like Andrew Tate and Lawrence Fox, these people could be in serious trouble because the language they've used over the last number of weeks could be seen by a judge. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, I'm just saying it could be seen by a judge as incitement, not just general incitement, but incitement related to terrorism. And that's pretty serious. You know, there's hate crimes and there's terrorism. And, you know, we've gone up a level here. Is it possible that Lee Anderson or Ben Habib or someone like that could be dragged in front of a court and jailed for terrorism, on terrorism charges? It's possible, as Sam has pointed out here. Now, of course, they're not going to get into specific cases. It's all hypothetical at the moment. But under legislation that came in after 9/11 and the 7th of July attacks, it's possible that people who've been encouraging these riots could end up in jail for terrorism, and of course the people who've been engaging in these attacks could be in jail for terrorism too. As Sam has pointed out, if there's a motivation, be it religious or political behind it, then it can be deemed as a terrorist act. So we're going to have to follow this quite closely, and it'll be interesting to hear what some of the high-profile figures have to say going forward. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.